Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Katie. I post DIY videos every Sunday and occasionally bonus videos on Thursdays dealing with all things Cricut. So today I'm going to talk about my top 5 tips for making money with your Cricut machine. Whether you're considering buying a Cricut or you already own one and want to take things to the next level by selling handmade products, this is the video for you. I'm going to break down the top 5 things you need to know before getting started. And a big thank you to Cricut for sponsoring this video, and let's dive in. My first tip is to hone in on exactly what you plan to sell. So decide on a category of item that you enjoy making and then make it well. Basically, you want to be known for what you sell. So this could be t-shirts with witty sayings or custom tumblers or wedding favors. There are a ton of options. Choose a direction and stick with it. Then as your business begins to grow, and if it keeps growing and you get consistent feedback from customers that they want you to add, let's say custom mugs in addition to tumblers, then eventually you can branch out. But to get started, you need to develop a specific niche. Tip number 2 is to calculate your profit margin. And this is a big one because the goal here is to make money, not lose it. So you need to calculate exactly how much money it costs to make each item versus how much you can sell it for. This goes far beyond the physical supplies that you need, but to get started, make a list of every material you use to make your product. So if it's a t-shirt, that would be the blank t-shirt itself, either iron-on or vinyl or infusible ink transfer sheets and markers, the Cricut cutting blade, which does need to be replaced after so many uses, and cutting mats. Also, consider buying materials in bulk to save money in the long run. Beyond that, you also have to factor in shipping costs, which involves purchasing packing materials as well as paying postage fees. You can account for shipping either in the sale price of the product or as a separate shipping fee, but it is essential that you account for it in some way. And some services like Etsy also charge a small fee for listing and selling an item. So make sure you research these fees as well and add them to the list. And after all that, you also need to factor in your time. How much time and effort does it take to make one item? The more product you can make, the more money you have the potential to earn. So just keep that in mind. But with that being said, don't skimp on quality just to have a faster turnaround time. Tip number 3 is to follow all copyright and licensing rules. So Cricut has an angel policy which specifies exactly how you as a seller can use images and cut files. There are certain copyrighted materials that you can only use personally and never reproduce and sell. So these are things like Disney, Marvel, Martha Stewart, Hello Kitty, and a few others. Beyond that, the angel policy gives you a detailed description of how many items you can sell per year using Cricut images, which is a lot, by the way. As of now, it stands at 10,000 finished product. So read this policy in full before getting started and refer back to it when in doubt, because the worst thing would be to violate a copyright rule and have to shut down your shop. That brings us to tip number 4, which is to set up your shop. Where will people go to purchase your products? Now you have a few options here, and at the end of the day, it all comes down to which platform you're most comfortable using. Most people are familiar with Etsy, which is an online marketplace where people sell handmade goods. Now I've had my own Etsy shop in the past and I had a really good experience with it, so if you're willing and able to go through the process of setting up your own Etsy shop, then I would definitely recommend it. Doing this is pretty straightforward. You'll be prompted to answer a series of questions about what you plan to sell and fill in your basic information, and like I mentioned before, Etsy does take a small fee for listing and selling an item, so be aware of that before getting started. Another great thing about Etsy is that they do handle all of the payment processing for you, so you don't have to worry about taking individual payments from customers. Another option is to create your own website. So there are a lot of great options here like Shopify, which allows you to set up an e-commerce website. There's Squarespace and WordPress. I won't go into each of these here, but that's a basic list to jumpstart your research. If you use social media like Instagram or Facebook, that's also a great place to get started. You could set up a business Facebook page or even market to your family and friends on your personal page, and the same goes for Instagram. You can set up a shop page on there and get busy selling. Beyond selling online, keep an eye out for craft fairs or other local events in your area that allow vendors to sell their products. And typically you will have to pay a fee to have a table at these events, but it's a great way to get your products in front of people. And if you can, print your website or social media handles on your packaging so that they know where to find you for repeat purchases. And tip number 5 comes down to why you. There are already a lot of sellers and handmade shops out there, so why would someone choose to buy from you? The most important thing you can do when starting a new business venture is to be unique. So really take some time to sit down and define what makes you different from other sellers out there. If you're a gardener and you want to sell punny garden-themed shirts, then you've got to come up with sayings and designs that you've never seen on a product before. Or maybe there's some other hobby that you're passionate about and you love that you can capitalize on. But if you jump on the same bandwagon as everyone else, then there's no reason someone's going to choose to buy it from you than any other seller out there. And if you're thinking that simply pricing at a lower amount than the competition is a good strategy, then think again, because while it might bring in a few extra sales, remember tip number 2 and your profit margin. It is much better to charge what your creativity and hard work are worth, and everyone will benefit from this in the long run. So those are my top 5 tips for making money with your Cricut. I hope this gave you some insight into how you can get started selling handmade products. I just think it is so important to know all of these details before diving into a venture like this, so you don't just waste your own time and money unnecessarily. It is so exciting to start your own business and sell what you've created, so good luck, and reach out to me if you have any questions. As always, I am here to help. You can leave them in the comments below or contact me on Instagram. I will leave all the links to my favorite Cricut machines and materials in the description box down below if you are interested in that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.